This is Cohen Sertenberg. I run Torchlight Cinema on YouTube, and I gotta say this is my best movie yet, or rather our, because I assembled a team on this one. Originally, I was gonna have my pal, who was the voice of Captain Cold, to do a commentary with me, but eh, I think I'd rather speak on the production for this one, because the script for this one went through a crap ton of changes. There were about 6 drafts before we got to this final version that you saw. Partially because this was a failed Christmas special. Due to that, there was a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of changes that had to be made to the script. Like originally, there was a lot of buzz about holiday time in this, and like originally they were out Christmas shopping, not just grocery shopping, in this opening shot. And this is also the only real camera move in the entire movie. The rest of them were added digitally in post production. And also, like, there are a lot of problems with the camera getting out of focus here. Like, because it was on autofocus, not manual focus, where the camera basically second guesses every single decision that you make. Because it's a Canon Rebel T3i, and like DSLR cameras, they're designed to do that. But now I know how to set it to set it to manual, so that will never happen again, and there will be no flicker in the future. And like for stable pictures, I got this camera remote thing because in this video, sometimes it looks like I have Parkinson's. I'm honest with myself. And also, I tried to up everything on this, even the mouth animation. Like, originally I had about 10 shapes for mouths. Now I have 30. Because I made, like, kind of sad mouths, like a sadder mouth that you saw whenever, like, right there when Wally started speaking, like a kind of sadder shaped mouth and a neutral mouth, the ones that you see the most, and, like, sad mouth again. And, angry mouth shapes right there. I don't like the way they look, so I'm going to change them. But those were just made on the fly, so yeah, they look different. And yeah, like I said, a lot of changes made to this because it was a failed Christmas special. Like, originally I had my old crappy camera, and this was actually made twice. First it was made on that old crappy camera, then I made it on the new one, because the old crappy version was the Christmas version, where at the end, instead of Iris being tied to a giant golden gun, she was tied to a giant Christmas tree and just being held hostage. But so there was no reason for the news to report on it, because like no, there was, because it was a trapped woman, but at the same time there wasn't reason for there to be as much panic, because like it was one woman, not him, freezing the whole city. So I think the fact that it wasn't a Christmas special changed it for the better. And like I said, it was like in the can for 6.5 months, because at one point I'd gotten a little discouraged, and at other points I had to take breaks because of school. I had to study for my final exams. Aced all of them. Yes, and but I'm so glad that it turned out the way it did. This was a labor of love, and I'm so glad that I kept all the people who worked on this satisfied like I did. And this is my directorial debut. Now I'm what I've always wanted to be with this, with my first directorial debut. And now I'm the animator, and I'm the director, and the writer, and this is a dream come true to me for it to come to fruition and people to love it quite the way that they have. And even then, there are flaws with this movie, like the camera shake. And I'm not trying to make an excuse here, and I'm going to get better with every movie I make, so the next one will hopefully blow this one out of the water. But I don't think the perfect movie should ever come to fruition, because, like, let's say one day the perfect movie comes out, and it has every single genre somehow crammed into it, and somehow it can sit with everybody on some level and resonate with them, and they'll all somehow love it, and it's perfect. If we make a perfect movie at one point, will there even be a point to making movies anymore? I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah, the next one I'm going to make is going to be better than this. Like, if you go to the About page on my channel, I have a list of about 3 movies that I'm going to make next. I try to keep it to 3 to not overwhelm myself, because I don't want to make any promises. Like, I have canceled a lot of things. Like, there was originally going to be a little Lego Flash short to come out a week after this one, and I was almost done. But I kind of watched it, and I realized I don't want to make shorts. I want to make like movies, like story-driven giant epics of animation like this one, because this video it feels, due to the way that I made it out of order. There are a lot of cuts, there's a lot of editing. So it feels a bit more, it feels far more like a movie than any of my other past projects, and that's great. But at the same time, like I said, still so many flaws, and I'm going to improve on every one, and I'm going to do more planning as well. because like this was actually animated pretty quickly, or shot rather, due to this one. It was storyboarded very tightly, and like very storyboarded very tightly. And I'd already shot it before, so I knew about most of the problems I was going to encounter, except for the camera shake and the flicker that it causes. Like I said about the autofocus earlier, and also everybody gave a great performance. I feel in this one, or at least the permissible performance. Everybody, they really tried. And when they saw the finished product, I showed the finished product to the voice actors. Then I sent it over to the composer, the guy who composed the music, Greg MacLeod. I just asked him to help out as a favor, and he was like, "Sure." He's such a nice guy, full of life, and this couldn't have come to fruition without the sexy, sexy sounds of his tunes. Mm. And yeah, and like my friend who was the voice of Captain Cold, he was happy with it. And I was kind of afraid that it might not turn out good, because this was originally going to be like at least 10 minutes. There was a lot of jokes that had to be cut, either because they were too dirty, or because like the audio files got corrupted, or I thought they just didn't work with the footage. Like here, when like Captain Cold called Kid Flash a kid, originally he was gonna say, "Hey man, I have hair on my balls," but I thought, oh, that's too dirty, so let's get rid of that. And a lot of lines were changed, like I said, due to it being a Christmas special at one point. Because originally, when Wally was ordering stuff on that computer, he wasn't just ordering stuff; he was ordering Christmas gifts. And at one point, there was going to be an after-credits scene of Barry opening up a gift, and it turns out he ordered Barry some Smirnoff, and then Barry was like, "Oh yay!" and then he like throws it away because he looks at it and he realizes it's Diet Smirnoff, and he hates it because it's diet. Well, I'm really proud of the fights in this one. They're far more bestial. I think that's the right word, bestial, than all the others in my past movies, and far better coordinated and far better filmed. And just look at that smexy speed effect. I love myself so much. Mm. And yeah, great. And also, I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, since you guys ask so much. And the voice actors, like their performances were edited together. Uh, I mean, I recorded with my friend who did Captain Cold, and as it turns out, sometimes he spoke too quietly, sometimes I spoke too quietly, sometimes there was too much space between our speaking, so this had to be cut a lot just drowned out. And I know some people want an entire outtakes video. That'll come along eventually, I promise. But we can be a little. Me and my friends, we don't really put too much. We try to keep our videos at least a PG-13, because there are a lot of jokes that aren't really suitable for younger kids, or at least they wouldn't understand them. But we can be a little lewd sometimes. But if people ask enough, then I'll put it through. But this little outtake section was funny enough, I feel. And like I said, I'm very happy with this project, but it could have been better. So I'm gonna keep pushing, and I'm gonna keep striving for perfection. Just because it's impossible doesn't mean that I'm not gonna try. Thank you. Bye.